In life, the company we keep can either elevate us or pull us down. While we may strive for virtue and self-control, certain people, through their toxic behavior, can sabotage our growth and peace of mind. These individuals aren't just obstacles, they are tests of our resilience and wisdom. But who are these people? How can you identify them before they undermine your progress? More importantly, how do you deal with them while staying true to Stoic principles? In this video, we're going to dive deep into 7 types of people Stoicism warns us about. By the end, you'll not only know who to avoid, but also how to guard your mind, energy, and peace. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. The revelations here could change the way you approach relationships forever. Stay tuned, because each one of these personality types brings a challenge you might not even realize you're facing. Let's uncover the truth together. 1. The Cynic, masters of despair. Imagine this scenario. You share your aspirations with a friend, your vision of a better future. Rather than offering support or constructive feedback, they respond with a sarcastic smirk, followed by a cascade of reasons why your plan will fail. They delight in the shadow of doubt they cast upon your hopes, presenting themselves as a realist when in fact they are nothing but a cynic. Who they are. The cynic is someone who has allowed bitterness and negativity to seep into their worldview. They look at life through a lens of defeat and refuse to acknowledge the possibility of growth, change, or hope. To them, optimism is naivety and effort is futile. Their approach to life is cold, dismissive, and often deeply pessimistic. Why we should avoid them. The danger of a cynic is that their negativity is infectious. While it is essential to stay grounded in reality, as Stoics, we must strike a balance between pragmatism and hope. Cynics, however, strip away this balance, leading us toward despair and hesitation. They can come in the form of friends, colleagues, or even family members, people who, rather than lift us up, seek to drag us down into their pit of despondency. As Epictetus observed, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Cynics, by contrast, thrive on dismantling dreams, leaving us unsure and weakened in our resolve. Strategies to deal with cynics. Detach emotionally. While a cynic's words may seem sharp, it is crucial to remember that it is not what they say that matters. It is how we choose to react. Epictetus reminds us it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Respond with positive action. The most effective rebuttal to a cynic is action. Rather than arguing or debating, focus on making tangible progress toward your goals. Let your success be your silent but powerful response. Minimize their influence. Limit your interactions with cynics. While complete avoidance may not always be possible, you can control how much space they occupy in your life. Do not allow their negativity to take root in your mind. 2. The gossip, poisoners of the soul. Illustration. You walk into a room and feel the palpable tension in the air. Low whispers, sly grins, and furtive glances. A gossip, perched comfortably in the center of attention, shares yet another piece of damaging information about someone else. Their words, venomous and coated in faux concern, spread quickly, eroding trust and harmony. Who they are. The gossip thrives on spreading rumors, half-truths, and secrets. They revel in the misfortune of others, often masking their behavior as harmless sharing or venting. In truth, gossips are agents of discord, using their words to create division and sow distrust. Stoicism teaches us to rise above petty concerns and focus on what truly matters, yet gossips seek to drag us into the muck of triviality. Why we should avoid them. Gossips are dangerous, not only because they create an atmosphere of distrust, but also because their behavior distracts us from the pursuit of virtue. Their focus on others' flaws and failures pulls us away from our own personal growth. Seneca said, "He who indulges in empty conversation sins against his own soul." Engaging with gossips, even passively, diminishes our integrity integrity and allows the seeds of negativity to grow within us. Strategies to deal with gossips. Guard your tongue. When you are in the company of a gossip, be cautious about what you say. Do not feed their desire for drama. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Let your words reflect your commitment to virtue. Redirect the conversation. Rather than participating in gossip, steer the conversation towards something constructive. Ask questions that encourage growth or deeper understanding, shifting the focus away from trivial matters. Lead by example. Show through your actions and words that you value integrity and wisdom. Over time, gossips will learn that their words have no place in your presence, and they will seek out others who are more receptive to their toxic behavior. 3. The victim. Perpetual seekers of pity. Illustration. A colleague always seems to have something to complain about. Whether it's their workload, personal life, or the weather, they constantly bemoan their circumstances. Every conversation with them revolves around their misfortunes, and they expect sympathy and validation for their perpetual suffering. Who they are. The victim is someone who has internalized the belief that life is unfair and that they are powerless to change their circumstances. Rather than taking responsibility for their own actions or seeking solutions, they wallow in self-pity and expect others to join them in their lamentations. Stoicism teaches us to accept responsibility for our lives, recognizing that we have control over how we respond to external events. The victim, by contrast, rejects this philosophy, instead choosing to cast blame on everything but themselves. Why we should avoid them. The mindset of a victim is contagious. When we surround ourselves with people who constantly view themselves as powerless, we risk adopting a similar mentality. Instead of taking control of our own lives, we may begin to blame external factors for our failures and challenges, losing sight of the Stoic principle that we are in control of our reactions. As Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. The victim constantly craves validation and pity, and by engaging with them, we only reinforce their toxic narrative. Strategies to deal with victims. Offer compassion, not pity. While it is important to be empathetic, we must not enable the victim's behavior. Encourage them to focus on solutions rather than problems. Set clear boundaries. Make it clear that while you care, you will not participate in endless cycles of complaints. Encourage them to take responsibility for their own actions and to seek out ways to improve their circumstances. Encourage self-reliance. Guide the victim toward the Stoic understanding that they are not helpless. Help them see that they have the power to control their reactions and to overcome challenges with resilience and strength. 4. The envious. Those who covet your growth. Illustration. You've worked hard to achieve a personal milestone, perhaps a promotion, a fitness goal, or the completion of a creative project. But instead of receiving congratulations from a friend, you notice their barely concealed bitterness. They make a backhanded compliment, leaving you feeling uneasy. Who they are. The envious are those who cannot stand to see others succeed. They look at the achievements of others and feel resentment rather than inspiration or joy. Their envy stems from a deep-seated insecurity and a belief that they deserve what others have earned. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own path, recognizing that the success of others does not diminish our own potential. Why we should avoid them. Envy is a destructive force that distorts relationships and poisons progress. When surrounded by the envious, we may feel compelled to hide our achievements or worse, begin to feel guilty for our success. The envious pull us away from our pursuit of virtue, distracting us with their bitterness and resentment. Strategies to deal with the envious. Do not boast. Avoid flaunting your successes or seeking validation from the envious. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time on trifles. Your accomplishments should speak for themselves. Show humility. Approach others with humility, making it clear that your success is not a threat to them. Stoicism teaches us that we all walk our own path and that there is no need for comparison. Limit engagement. When envy becomes toxic, it is essential to distance yourself. Do not allow the envious to anchor you with their insecurities. 5. The manipulator. Puppeteers of emotion. Illustration. After every interaction with a certain individual, you feel emotionally drained. This person seems to have a way of twisting your feelings, making you feel guilty or obligated to do things you never wanted to do. The manipulator thrives on using others to achieve their own ends, often at the expense of those they claim to care about, who they are. The manipulator is skilled at bending others to their will, often through subtle emotional tactics. They play on empathy, guilt, or fear to get what they want, and they are masters of shifting blame or deflecting responsibility. Stoicism values autonomy and self-mastery, yet manipulators seek to undermine these principles by controlling the emotions of those around them. Why we should avoid them. Manipulators erode our sense of agency, making us feel powerless and confused. Over time, their behavior can lead to resentment, frustration, and a loss of self-respect. Stoicism teaches us to remain in control of our emotions, yet the manipulator seeks to exploit these very emotions for their gain. Strategies to deal with manipulators. Stay grounded in logic. Do not let their emotional manipulation cloud your judgment. Stoicism teaches that reason, not emotion, should guide our decisions. Set clear boundaries. Ensure that your relationships are based on mutual respect, not manipulation. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Walk away when necessary. When someone continually manipulates you, it is important to have the strength to step back. Preserve your inner peace at all costs. 6. The arrogant, blind to their own ignorance. Illustration. In every conversation, one person insists on dominating the dialogue, speaking with certainty on topics they barely understand. They dismiss the input of others and refuse to consider any viewpoint but their own. The arrogant, in their overconfidence, shut themselves off from learning and growth. Who they are. The arrogant are those who believe they have nothing left to learn. They dismiss the wisdom of others, convinced that their knowledge is superior. Stoicism teaches us to remain humble, always open to learning and growth. Yet the arrogant reject this philosophy, assuming they have already attained all the wisdom they need. Why we should avoid them. The presence of the arrogant stifles intellectual and personal growth. Their overconfidence can lead to disastrous decisions, and their refusal to listen to others creates an environment where curiosity and learning are discouraged. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The arrogant, however, create obstacles through their own stubbornness. Strategies to deal with the arrogant. Respond with humility. Do not engage in power struggles or debates. Show through your own example that true wisdom lies in humility and the willingness to learn. Seek alternative voices. Surround yourself with people who value learning and growth. Avoid getting drawn into the toxic dynamic created by the arrogant. Avoid argument. Arguing with the arrogant is often a fruitless endeavor. As Seneca advised, it is better to know less, but to know it well. Focus on deepening your own understanding rather than trying to convince someone who refuses to listen. 7. The narcissist, worshippers of themselves. Illustration. A friend or colleague insists on steering every conversation back to themselves, their achievements, and their desires. Their concern for others is superficial at best, and they seem completely blind to the needs or feelings of those around them. Every interaction feels one-sided, with the narcissist consuming attention without offering anything in return. Who they are. The narcissist is consumed with themselves, leaving little room for empathy, compassion, or genuine connection. They expect the world to revolve around them and are often blind to the needs and feelings of those around them. Stoicism teaches us the importance of community, mutual respect, and humility, values that the narcissist completely disregards. Why we should avoid them. Narcissists drain emotional energy, leaving others feeling unappreciated and unvalued. Their self-obsession makes it impossible to form meaningful relationships, as they are incapable of seeing beyond their own desires. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate deep connections with others, rooted in reciprocity and empathy. Yet narcissists are inherently exploitative, seeking only to serve their own interests. Strategies to deal with narcissists: practice detachment. Do not allow their self-centered behavior to affect your sense of self-worth. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Limit engagement. Narcissists rarely change, and it is crucial to protect your own mental and emotional well-being by limiting your exposure to their behavior. Seek deeper connections. Focus on building relationships with people who value empathy, reciprocity, and mutual respect. Let go of the need to maintain connections with those who only take and never give. Conclusion: Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The people we have explored here, the cynic, the gossip, the victim, the envious, the manipulator, the arrogant, and the narcissist, are obstacles on our path to virtue, but they are also opportunities for growth. By learning to navigate these individuals with grace, wisdom, and inner strength, we fortify our minds and deepen our commitment to the Stoic way. Stoicism does not teach us to avoid challenges, but rather to confront them with courage and resolve. Avoiding these types of people is not an act of fear or weakness, but an affirmation of our commitment to growth, wisdom, and inner peace. Through the teachings of Stoicism, we can thrive in the face of adversity, both external and internal alike. If you're committed to mastering your mind and gaining insights on how to handle life's trials with resilience and grace, subscribe to Stoic Mind today. Join our growing community of individuals dedicated to living a life of virtue, wisdom, and unshakable strength. Together, we can cultivate the mindset that allows us to rise above life's challenges and thrive in any situation. Don't miss out on future content. Subscribe now and let us walk